Good morning, YouTube. On this episode of Rags to Riches and Elite Dangerous, we are going to be doing a Roads to Riches, which is a way to make money with exploration in Elite Dangerous. These are using third-party tools. If you are going to get into playing Elite Dangerous, you're going to have to accommodate or incorporate third-party tools into your gameplay. So we're going to talk about that in this episode. We are going to discuss the FSS scanner. We are going to discuss the third-party tools we use to make all this money. Our destination is a place called Jameson's Crash Site in the system of HIP 12099. That's where we're going to be headed today. And along our way, we are going to be collecting a bunch of very valuable exploration data. So this is going to be an exciting episode, guys. First, what I'd like to get into is your ship fitting. I did cover this, what we have covered so far, and we're going to assume you have watched those videos. And if you haven't, I assume you go back and watch the videos. I have them all in a fancy little playlist, so you can go through. The first episode, we discussed the basics. Okay, so now we're going to assume that you know the basics. We did some Let's Play type stuff where I was getting myself out of the starter area. And in order to do this, you are going to need about 1.6 million credits. Okay? You can build a hauler. Those links are in the description. And you can do this just the same as I'm doing it in the Cobra. This Cobra build, you're going to need about 1.6 million. And if you did tune in to the other videos, you can see my balance is a little bit higher now. That's because I took a disable mega ship missions just so that I could get my my balance up. So we have no fear of like death and things like that now. That's what I did. We're not going to put that in the video. That's up to you to do. But we're going to discuss the build. So hard points on the Cobra, nothing. Okay, all they do, we don't need to shoot anybody during this this adventure. So we don't, and all they do is lower our jump range. So no weapons, no utility mounts so far. I suppose what I could do if they have them, I'm not worried too much about it. Yeah, we could put a heat sink launcher on there. So yeah, well, let's do that. It doesn't affect our jump range a whole heck of a lot. No, actually, I'm just going to put the one. So we have a heat sink in utilities. We probably won't even need it. In core internals, I have derated everything. So, oh, I actually didn't. I didn't get the thrusters. Look at me being behind. Okay, so we're going to throw the derated thrusters on there. Exchange. Hey, and that pops our jump range back up to where we were. How about that? Okay, so everything is derated except for the frame shift drive, which is an A graded, of course. In our optional internals, this is probably the most important area you're going to want to make sure you have right, except for, of course, the A-grade frame shift drive. I have a cargo rack with 16 tons capacity. You are going to need 4 tons in order to follow along with this Roads to Riches that we're doing. I have a 4D fuel scoop. Do you need a 4D? No, but you do need a fuel scoop of some sort. I have a 3D shield generator. That's elective. It's just safety. I threw, because I had an open slot, I threw an extra fuel tank, and that's just going to allow me to jump further. Not necessary. What is necessary, however, is the detailed surface scanner. You must have this. If you don't have this, you are not going to make nearly as much money as what I'm going to make. I also have a 2G planetary vehicle hangar, and I have the Scarab. Scarab? We just call them SRVs. I have an SRV installed in that planetary vehicle. That is also necessary for doing this. Super Cruise Assist, advanced docking computer, electives, but, you know, training wheels. So that's our build, guys. So what we have to do at this point, we are ready to go. Oh, we have a heat sink, but anyways. So in third-party tools, the first one I'd like to talk about is Spanish. This is a wonderful site. There's a link to this in the description. Click your route planners, go to Roads to Riches. I am sitting in the CD TAC 46-14401 system. Okay, you put that in there wherever you currently are, doesn't matter, just wherever you are. that's your starting system. Where we are going is HIP 12099. Okay, we have a jump range of 24 light years. I'm not sure, I just left this default 25 radius, 100 systems. This is clicked by default, take that off. We're not going back, so we don't want to loop. And this, so you calculate, and this has spat out a 22 jump route to HIP 12099. And along this route, you can see it's going to tell us to scan bodies, A1, A2. So our first is going to this Atari sector, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and at the end is the planet. Okay, so we have to scan planet A1 and also A2. Right, in our next system, they want us to scan planet 6. Next system, A6 and B3. Okay, so that's how that works. And you can see it also gives you the mapping value. So that's 500,000, that's 500,000, that's almost 1,000,000, 500,000, 500,000, almost 1,000,000, 500,000, 1,000,000. You can see this trip is going to pay us 17,912,000 credits. Big money, guys. Big money. So if we follow this route to our destination system, we are going to put in the bank account 17, almost 18 million credits. I know your jaw has dropped as a new player. This is a great way to make money. Alternatively, I know you can do this. I stick to what I know, guys. I know you can do this on Spanish. This is also a this is also a very, you can do it here. I'm just not sure how. For another alternative route, I use a site called edtools.cc, Roads to Riches. And same thing, you put in where you are, and this will spit out everything that's around you. You can see there's far more on this list than 22 jumps. I think you can also do a route planner with ED Tools, but this is, if you're just looking to make money with exploration, use at least I do, use edtools.cc. Throw in where you currently are, get route, and it will pop out everything that has valuable things to scan around you. Okay, so you can see very close to us is an Earth-like world that we can go and scan. Terraformable water worlds. Another Earth-like world. Okay, so this will spit out everything that is directly surrounding you, and it creates a route just off into nowhere. Okay, it's not going anywhere specific. It's just sending you on a roads to riches. So that's another great site. We discussed this in the last video. Inara, I cannot speak enough about Inara. The tools that Inara has is incredible. If you're not using Inara.cz, start, because it is an absolutely fantastic tool for Elite Dangerous. What we showed you in the last video was how to find modules that you might be having trouble finding for your ship, so that you can use the Inara outfitting section to find this stuff. If you're having trouble finding it at the system you're currently at, type in the system you're at, type in the module that you're after. Inara will tell you where to go to get it. Those three are absolutely essential, in my opinion, for playing Elite Dangerous. If you're not using these third-party tools, you are going to smack your head against the wall, because not all planets are created equally. There are certain planets that pay a lot more than other planets. So if you're just jumping around aimlessly, scanning a bunch of icy worlds, you are not going to, I mean, if that's what you want to do, you do you, man. You do you, because that's fine. What you're not going to do is make a whole lot of money doing that. You need to find Earth-like worlds, terraformable water worlds, and terraformable high metal content worlds. Those three types of worlds pay very good for exploration, and they're scattered everywhere. The galaxy is very big, so we use these third-party tools to help us find those things. So we're scoot back. We are ready to go, guys. We discussed the build. We have our route planned. So you do copy. Okay, on Spanish, you just click this copy button, and I always click done. Okay, once I've copied it onto my clipboard. Go back into Elite Dangerous. Open up your galaxy map. Nope, I always hit the wrong button on that. And Control V, paste it in there. Another thing to talk about before we get out of here, if you haven't already figured this out, by default, the map puts you on economical routes. You don't want to do that, guys. Change that immediately if you haven't already. Click fastest routes. Okay, so we're going to press enter. And this is our first route. And you can see this is a distance. Okay, this is a ways to get to the first system in our route. It's 143 light years away. So we are going to click this route. And you can see that we can make it there. I'm going to, because we discussed in another video, the dotted line. Like I said, I'm going to assume that you have watched those videos, so I'm not going to recover ground I have already covered in the galaxy map as well. I'm going to do this. If you click on map, and then in this kind of filter area, there is star class. Okay, so I already have this done because I've been playing. But if you, this is KGB foam is the acronym. KGB foam. Okay, those stars are all scoopable. So if you're just following along here, it's the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, down to M. Unclick all the rest of them, and at the bottom, apply to route. This ensures that the system will not route you to stars you can't scoop from. Do you have to do this? No. Okay, but it's going to make sure that you only jump into systems that have scoopable stars. This is going to make your life a lot easier, I guess. It's going to avoid a phone call to the fuel rats. So do that. We're going to launch off here, guys. We have our first route planned, and that's 7 jumps to get here. So I'm going to cut it here. That is how you make money with exploration. I will come back once I have arrived at our first system. Oh, if I can, not kill myself in the meantime. Okay, good. And we are going to discuss the FSS scanner and the detailed surface scanner. We have now arrived in the Atari sector. YZ TAC P, B5 TAC 4. And the first order of business that we need to discuss is fuel scooping. Okay, this is something that you are going to have to learn. It is something you are going to need during this trip. So there are a couple of ways of going about this. I play with orbit lines off. Okay, on your system, you may be playing with orbit lines on. How do you toggle that? You press the equals key. So, maybe. Okay. It's not going to show me. Did I change that keybind? Very strange. At any rate, if you have the orbit lines on, when you get close to this star, it is going to show you an inclusion zone. I wonder why. I must have changed it. Anyways, I can't obviously show you that right now because I play with orbit lines off, but if you have them on, you're going to see a line right on the inclusion zone of the star. You don't want to go closer, or the star will eat you. But you can see it. You see how the I'm not a scientist, guys, sorry, but you see how you've got like solar flares coming off, and you can kind of see an orangey. That's the inclusion zone. Okay, you don't want to get closer than that. You want to kind of scrape around it. Now, the easiest way to do this, we have Super Cruise Assist. Okay, so if you want to not have any fear of getting eaten by the star, you engage your Super Cruise Assist on the star itself. Ooh, why didn't it do it? Oh, yeah, it's engaged. And then you just point at it, and there, see, we have now that we've done it, we have the inclusion zone. Okay, so we can get all the way close enough to that yellow line without the star eating us. However, the Super Cruise Assist will keep us in an abundance of safety. It will orbit the star automatically and engage your fuel scoop. This takes a lot longer, okay, because the Super Cruise Assist is not going to put you in any type of danger. So I'm going to deactivate that now. The better way to do this is to actually just manually go in. Okay, and so yeah, I've got the orbit lines on now, and you can kind of squeeze in here, and I get it to about 130 because I know there, and then you just stop. I know that my ship is not going to overheat at this range, so I just stop moving and allow my fuel scoop to do its job. So now we have a full fuel tank. Okay, so you can see that, yeah, I've got the orbit lines off. You press equal and they turn off. Equal, they turn back on. I play with orbit lines off. You can play with them on, of course. So the next order of business is our FSS scanner. You will not need to use an FSS scanner on this trip. It's not a required thing because our third-party tools tell us exactly where to go. After we go through that, we're going to discuss that in more detail. However, if you are going out into the black on your own, when you jump into a system, we'll look at the system map here. All you're going to see is the stars that are in the system. The planets will not be there on the system map if it is an undiscovered system. Okay? All the systems we're going to are discovered. So all the planets are going to be in the system map. So we can very easily navigate that and find the planet that the Spanish router is telling us to go to. However, if you want more information on exploration and you want to just go out on your own, make discoveries, you are going to have to learn how to use the FSS scanner. So in your options, controls, you scroll down to the full spectrum system scanner and you have to set this up. There are some defaults. You can use it however you want to, but you're going to have to set all this up. Okay, so tuning I have set to E and Q, fairly standard. The pitch, S and W, the yaw, D and A, zoom in, zoom out, mouse 1, mouse 2. Fairly simple. There's not much to this. Discovery scan is mouse 3, leave is backspace. And to open it in the first place, I have it set to apostrophe. Where is that one? I think that's default. You can change it, of course. Where the heck is that setting? Leave SSS apostrophe. Maybe that's the same key for open it. Anyways, so set that up. Like I said, I did go through it, but I'm going to assume that you have an understanding of how to set up keybinds. I have it set to apostrophe. That opens my FSS scanner. Press and hold your discovery button. For me, that's mouse 3. Okay, and it does the discovery scan of the system, and it tells you that it's found 18 bodies. Now, when you're doing your tuning, it will tell you there in the bottom right what it's tuning to. Okay, and the squiggles, those are in the system. We have those in the system. So this squiggle is water worlds. So if you start navigating along the orbit line, we have a source here. Okay, but it is not one of the water worlds. So we do the tuning. What is this? It's not an icy body. It's not a high metal content. It's a signal source. Okay, which is this squiggle here, and it'll tell you this is a transient signal source, and that's what that is. So you click it, and that's a degraded emissions. Okay, zoom out, and we continue on. I go back to here, and you can see. Did you see it's like pulsing? Oop. There's something there. Okay, and you can see that we also have like a dotted line. Those are all sources. So you can see all the blinkies. I am so technical. That's something. Okay, but we're not tuned to it. But the FSS scanner is telling us that that's something. So let's try it. Fine tuning. No, it's not an icy world. It's not a rocky body. It's a high metal content world. So we've tuned in on that. Click it. Oh, there's actually, wrong button. Okay, there's actually two sources here. Okay, so what's this? Oh, this is our high metal content world. Okay, and it gives us a readout and a picture of what this planet is. Okay, there's some resources on there. So we've scanned our first world. If you were out in the black in a system that was undiscovered, this would now come into the system map. Okay? And if you could decide from, oh, darn it. You can decide from there whether you wanted to go and scan that body or not. Okay, so that is kind of a crash course. Yeah, we've got some bodies. We've got a body there. That's another high metal content world. Scanned. And you do get money for this. Okay, this is going to get you money, and then if you decide you want to go and use your detailed surface scanner on that, that's up to you. And we have another high metal content world. No volcanism. Okay, so you just kind of go around. So we had 2 bodies there, I think. Yeah, and that's it there. Back on out. What do we have? What is this? That's a signal source. Degraded emissions. Okay, and we have something here. This is probably an icy body. No. Yeah, that is an icy body. Okay, so that's scanned. Oh, and we have something on the B star. Oh, stuff over here. What's this? You tune it. Oh, yeah. There it was. There's another. Was that icy? Yeah, icy body. So we have something here. Another icy body. Okay, you can see how the kind of squiggle lines, the white stuff, it's pointing you to where there is something. Okay, so we have something there. That's not an icy body. Oh, yeah, it's some. Just to have to tune it up a little bit. That's a rocky icy world. Okay, so we have something else right there that was popping up. What is that? Tune it down. I think that's probably a signal source. No, it's just doing something. So we have something here. I think that's... Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, it's just bugging out. Okay. It's telling us to go in here. We have something here. You can see those white lines are kind of telling... Yeah, so the white lines are kind of telling us where to go. Start tuning to it. Yeah, we have another icy world. Okay. And I think that's that for that. And you see it tells you up at the top right, I've scanned 10 out of 13 bodies. Where are the other ones? There's probably a signal source, I would imagine. Yep. Another signal source. And we got something here. Okay. What's that? Alright. Water world. Cool. Oh, that's scannable. Now, that's probably the one we're going after, I would imagine. Okay. So we got a couple more worlds here. And there's something else there. Okay. So it tells you system scan complete. We have successfully FSS scanned this system. Now, if you do get a bit of money if it's low. If you're not scanning high profit worlds, this is a very low amount of money. So I'm not going to continue doing this throughout the video, but I needed to show it to you. This is a large part of exploration using this FSS scanner, especially if you're going out on your own to make your own discoveries. This is a very important tool you're going to need to use and know how to use. So get comfortable with it. This is kind of a crash course, and that is how the FSS works. Okay, so throughout this video, we're not going to be doing that anymore. We don't need to do it, but it needs to be shown in the tutorial on how to use it if you're going to go out on your own and try and make your own discoveries in the black. So how do we do the roads to riches? We go back to our third-party tool, and it clearly tells us that we need to scan A1 and A2. So all you do is you open up your system map. A refers to a star. Okay, so every time you jump into the system, it goes top to bottom for the stars. The first star is A, the second star is B, the third star is C. If there was a fourth star, it would be D. Okay, so top to bottom. The planets go left to right. So this first planet is attached to the A star. So this planet would be A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, and A6. Okay, this information is not, because we FSS scanned this system, that information is available to us. However, when you first jump in, that information may or may not be available to you, but regardless of if the system map is telling you the information, it may say undiscovered. It always works like that. There is no deviation from that. It always works from that. The only deviation is if you have bodies that are not attached to a star, and that would be AB. Okay, so if we had a space in between these two stars, and we had planets along a line in between, that would be AB1. Okay, hopefully we run across that so I can go into more detail on that, but that's the only variation. And then the star with B star, okay, would be B1, B2, B3, B4. If there was planets along a plane, there would be an X here, okay, and then planets. This would be AB, or sorry, BA. So it does get a little bit confusing, but because this is the B star and it has planets attached to a different plane, this would be BA1, BA2, BA3. Okay, so that hopefully we run across that, but that's how it works. Okay, so in this system we need to scan A1 and A2. So let's go to A1, and that is pretty close, so I don't think we're going to cut. We have that targeted. We're going to engage our Super Cruise Assist. I'm going to show you this. Take the training wheels off, guys. If you have a keybind and you set your throttle to I screwed it up. We're too close. Okay, we'll talk about that in the next system. Scratch it. So if you set your Super Cruise Assist, see, I love Super Cruise Assist, guys. We're going to head into this planet. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is the detailed surface scanner. Okay, it just comes up as surface scanner. We did discuss this in another video. You need to have your fire group set up. You need to have your change fire group keybind set up so that you can change your fuel scoop or your fire groups. Okay, I'm going to deactivate the Super Cruise Assist now. We are at a decent distance. I like to be somewhere around here, 0.2 LS in and abouts. So you need to have all this set up. You need to be in discovery mode or analysis mode, I believe it's called, and you need to have your surface scanner set to a fire group. So I have that set to my second trigger. I'm going to pull it, and it brings up the DSS. Also, you need to have set up the DSS in your options, just like you did the full spectrum system scanner. You need to set up the detailed surface scanner in very much the same manner as you set up the FSS. This is a little bit more simple. Exit mode, yaw, pitch, and that's pretty much it. I don't even have anything else set. It's pretty simple to work that out. Back to game. So I have it set on my mouse, and oops. Okay. So the way that I do this is you want to it's set to your triggers, right? So whatever your triggers are, we have it set to trigger 2. So fire right at the center. Boom. Okay, then you go down, and you can see that little horizontal line that comes up. I put that right in the center. Okay, so you don't even have to move. I line that up and fire a shot. Okay, then I come up and I do the same thing here. And then there and there. I'm going to allow those. There is an efficiency bonus that you get. So I'm going to allow those to hit, and you can see how doing that hits the poles. So we've got one in the center, and we've hit all the poles. And we're not, yep, that was enough to do it. So there's the DSS. And we also need planet 2, so you go back into your system map. I'm pretty sure I can see it, but go back into your system map, select planet A2, and head in. Again, I get to about 0.2. That's usually a good range, 0.2 LS. If you get too close, sometimes it's tough to land the scanner probes. So I like to be around there, 0.2. You can be closer, but this boils down to preference. You're going to have to play with it. We'll do one more. And we are too fast. Okay, so we've got to 0.2. I'm going to throttle down. I'm going to deploy my surface scanner. Shoot one at the center. Head off to the side. Doesn't matter which order you do this. I just put it right in the center. And that's going to hit the poles. Okay? Each side. And go for each pole. And there we go. That should complete it. If it doesn't, there's also another way to hit the other side without moving. I will show you that, but usually 5 probes is enough to scan the bodies. So if you come up to the point of it saying miss, okay, miss, and then you just come down a little bit and not quite touch the horizontal line, and then fire. Okay, so I'm going to toggle the other side of the planet so that you can see it hit. So if it needed the 6th probe, which we've already got it scanned, I have that set to mouse 3. So we're actually looking at the back side of the planet. Boom. See how it hit? It hit right dead center. So if you needed that 6th probe, that's how you do that. You come up until it says miss, and then just bring her back down to not quite touching that horizontal line, and then you fire, and that probe's going to go and hit orbit, and it's going to come back around very close to the center of the backside of the planet. So that is all. That is how you do exploration. If you follow the route on Spanish, you are going to make 17 million credits on this route. So I'm going to do that. And I will come back once we have reached Jameson's crash site. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. This has been the tutorial for exploration as a new player in Elite Dangerous. I appreciate you watching. Please like my videos. Please subscribe. Please leave me a comment. Tell me how I'm doing. Tell me what you'd like to see. We're going to go make some money with exploration. We'll see you next time.